Hi, this is Coach MJ. We're back on another episode of the Real Mission I'm Possible show. Today, our guest is Audrey van der Lee, coming to us from the Netherlands. Audrey has a special story, which I've asked her to share here on the show. It's worthy of all of our attention. And I'd just like to, first of all, welcome Audrey onto the show. Well, Audrey, good morning from the United States, and you're in Netherlands, so it's almost the afternoon. Thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me, Coach.
Well, you know, I got a chance to see some of the incredible content that you put out, inspiring content that you put out, and caring content that you put out on LinkedIn. It's over the top. There aren't too many content creators I can think of that put so many vitamins into a post that you do, and I commend you for that. And I've become a fan of yours. And doing that, I found out that you have a story to share that kind of goes with our show, because here we talk about with thought leaders and also people who've overcome and faced incredible adversity, found the meaning of resilience, found the inner strength to be able to go step another day. Everybody's fighting a fight. We never know what anybody is going through. So the whole mantra these last 36 months has changed to just be kind. And it's starting to resonate with a lot of folks that I'm meeting online, especially, and you. So Audrey, could you just give us a little bit of background on where you came from, how you grew up, where, and then what led us to this event, which you're going to talk about?
Okay, well, I'm from the Netherlands, like you said, and I grew up in the middle of the country in a very small town, and with my mom and dad. And at a young age, I was already ready to see the world. So I'd never fit in anywhere. I was like always trying to find out and get knowledge from books. So I read a lot, and when I was becoming a teenager, I was ready to see the world. So I went traveling since I was very young. And unfortunately, when I was very young, I had my first bad encounter. And that means that I lost all my knee straps. And before I was 16, they told me I would never walk again. So I had a lot of surgeries. I had to miss out on a lot of things that people do when they're very young. But I would still be able to manage and to pursue without the rehabs. I had the revalidations. So after that, how do you say it? I decided that I wanted to go to school, but not so long. So you can compare it to college. So I did 4 years and 2 years, and I just started traveling around the world. So I started out in England. I went to Tenerife. Then I went to Japan. I was there for quite a long time because this country was amazing and very interesting, and I loved the culture. And that was me. I was always on the way and on the move. And in between, I had all these surgeries and stuff that I had to go through and do a lot of training. So you will see me when I was young, a lot of in the gym and working my ass off just to be able to walk. So this was like a red line in my whole youth. And after that, I went back to work in the Netherlands. I worked for the TV station. Unfortunately, there we went again. I had a bad accident, so it cost me a few of my memory cells. And I had to go and work again on myself. So all these things in between that cost me a lot, but I was able to thrive after. This is a little bit about my childhood, and what can I say? I'm proud of who I became today. I'm proud that I made it through my childhood. I'm proud that I traveled, and I think because I traveled and I had a lot of different jobs, that I encountered a lot of people, a lot of cultures. I had so many people, contacts all over the world that really formed me in the international person I am today.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that one, but I guess so. That helps set up the next piece of this, because you were told at a very young age about things that it wouldn't be possible for you to do. And yet you found the courage to be able to say, I'm not listening to that. That's not my story. We're going to get through this. And you did that twice, once with your knees, as I just heard now. And the second one was you had an accident which caused a brain injury. I'm assuming that's what you were referring
Yes,
to.
yes, exactly.
That's no joke. That's very serious. And that would put most people on the ground, and that would be it. So you continue to crawl, and to then start to make your steps and walk, and then go on. So tell us now where you were in your early career, and then what led you up to 2019. And I'm giving that clue to my audience because this is the story coming up soon.
Yeah, well, I when I came back and after the accident, at that time I worked at the TV station. I developed a lot of work, and the government asked me to just drop by and asked me that because of my experience with people, that I can help them help the people to find jobs. So that in that time work for the government, I had a lot of different experiences in a different way. I managed a team. I went back to school. I had my sales degrees extra and few other degrees as well. So I had a lot of chance to develop myself more. And after that, I had my children. I got married. So I had a pit stop. And in 2009, I had my divorce, and it was a really bad time in my life. And after I went through that, I had to stop working at the government, and that really hurt me as a person, because I loved the job. It was my own creation, my own function in that job as well. So I got a big party from the government when I left, but it was, no, I didn't really like to go. But I had to decide just to take a little time off. And after that, I really thought about life and what I've been through. And actually, I got a little bit upset, a little bit mad. And I told my friend, she's a longtime friend of mine. She's like 20 years or 30 years now, my friend. And I told her, nobody should ever go through what I went through, because it's just horrible how you manage, how you just survive, and how you keep your family together, and how you make your money to keep your home even. So at that point, I decided that I wanted to do something by myself. I want to be a founder. I had my idea. So, and my idea was just to help people freely, and just dedicate my life as a volunteer for anyone who needs my help. So that was the start in 2014 of my founding. And well, after that, it was just went crazy, because we helped like more than 1,000 families a year out of poverty. We helped when buildings burned down. We made sure people got new furniture. Well, it didn't matter what help question. It's like you see a tapping point, people ring the bell, and they say, well, we have a problem. And we just said, come on in. So I started in my backyard, in my house. Then I went to my first company. Then I went to my second company, because we were just growing bigger and bigger. So we managed to give people everyday bread, other foods, furniture. It didn't matter, but also the background, that all was connected to one center. All the companies who were helping people, serving people, didn't matter if they were from the government, it didn't matter if they were a business people. We had like 500 companies supporting us in any kind of ways, just to prevent and help people to get back on their feet and to go in the right way. So this was my dream.
Wow.
And Yeah, well, it was such a blessing, and I can tell you the thing I learned from that time. It doesn't matter. There is no. There's always a way, and if there isn't a way, the universe is sharing it where to go. But we had some really strange things going on that we thought, okay, we're not going to be able to manage this one. But it's just somebody called and said, oh, hello, I heard you are doing this good job, and we have this and that for you. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is what we need. And I was like, yay. So this was me, and I was the founder, but of course we did this with the whole team. There was a lot of volunteers, like 68, and a lot of youngsters came into the company to learn, because I thought it was very important for youngsters to learn that it isn't normal just to have your bread, to have a home, to be able to do everything. So it was very good training for youngsters, just to know where to go from there. So this was well, this built themselves up, and in 2014, in January, I thought I had a flu. I had just managed my board to expand. So because I thought I cannot stay the director, I cannot stay the logo, I cannot do the PR by myself alone. I need more people around me, good people. So I expanded the board. I went back in my hours, because I thought, okay, Audrey, because you have 3 children, you cannot go 24/7 a day. So, but then in January, I thought I got a flu. I stayed at home, and after a couple of months, then I lost my speech, and there was the start of my new story.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Let's pause right there. Let me just kind of go back. So you had no experience in doing, I guess what you're talking about is when you say founding, you founded a non-governmental organization, right? An NGO.
Yes.
And with this, what with in Americans they would call it a nonprofit or a charity. So
Yes.
you're the founder, and you had no experience doing this, of course, at all. And there was no, you and in your backyard, right? That's where you started.
Yeah.
And you grew that into 68 volunteers, 500 companies supporting you, thousands of people being empowered, helped, assisted, rescued from hopelessness, from disaster. And there's you raising 3 kids simultaneously, doing this because you're just putting your all in. You just want to serve. And you've created this by yourself because you know that this is your mission. We're going to use this word today a few times, but this was your mission. And suddenly lightning hit you for the 3rd time. And you lost your voice after having the flu for a couple of months. And this is where the story starts. Incredible. Please share.
Yes. Well, I thought I had the flu, like I said, so, but I lost my speech, and my children were actually telling me, Mom, this is normal. You need to see a doctor. And you can imagine the person I am. I don't see the doctor often. I'm like, just take your vitamins, eat your good food, and just go on. And I do take my rest and have good sleep, but still, I was just stalling it, because I was busy, because I was working on my quality marks. I had like 1 year's time to get my quality marks from the government. And this was a very big issue here, because if I had those quality marks, then people and like government lotteries and all other kinds of companies will get tax benefits, just because, well, this is the system. I don't know if it's in America the same, but it's here in the Netherlands. So when you have this quality marks, then I don't have to feel this heavy load of getting that money together for a whole year, because you have this big company, you have to pay everything non-profit. So I had 1 year's time just to prove them all these accountants, that I had a steady business, all was good, put down the numbers, show them the way. And So all that happened at the same time. So I was not really feeling good, but I was really excited because these things were coming my way finally. So that was a relief for me. So when my children told me, I have to go a little bit back, when my children told me that I need to see the doctors, I went to see the doctor in the afternoon. So I saw him and he looked at me, he said, "This is not good, Audrey." I said, "You're kidding me." "I know it isn't, but what's going on?" I said, "I don't know. My arm was like falling out and my speech was getting worse." And he said, "You need to go to the hospital straight away." I was like, "Okay, straight away, that ain't good." So I went to see the neurologist straight away, and I went to go and have this MRI. I went through the machine. I saw the doctor, and the doctor looked at me and he said, "Well, I think you have multiple sclerosis." I said, "What?" Because, you know, all kinds of diseases are very common to people, like cancer, like all kinds of, but multiple sclerosis, like the underdog. Nobody knows exactly what it is. A lot of people think that it's something with your muscles. There's not really a lot of publicity around it. It's starting now, it's getting better. But I was like, okay, and so what's next? And he said, "Well, we want to do some more research and I will see you back on the 1st of April. I said, okay. So I was sitting in the car, like really numb, like in this bubble. What just hit me? I need to know what it is. I don't know what it means. I didn't know what it was. So I went back home and well, that was the start of the roller coaster, of course. And I had to go back on the 1st of April. Can you imagine, on Fool's Day? But that was a joke, coach. That wasn't a joke. So he told me, "You have multiple sclerosis, but you also have the progressive form. That means that I give you to the end of the year." I said, "Excuse me? I give you to the end of the year. And before the end of the year, I think you're in a support home. You're caught in your body and no functions anymore. All your functions are gone. So we need to act immediately. I have some ideas and we need to act now. And this is the most important thing. You have to keep in mind, the only one is important now is you." So, coach, you know what went on in my mind? I was like, I need to see a lot of people. I need to make sure my kids are okay, that I have my papers in order, that my children will be okay when I'm not there anymore. I even made videos to say goodbye to them. It was just like horrible. It was horrible. I just thought, okay, this is it. I need to do only one thing now. I'm not going to help anybody anymore. I'm just only one I'm going to help is myself. I just don't have a choice. So that was like the man with the hammer. Do you have this expression in America as well?
We do now.
Yeah. So that wasn't nice, and I was really in a bad shape. I was getting worse in a very, very, very quick time. That means like in a couple of months. In May, I decided to lay down all my functions, just to say to the board that I'm gonna end my function. I'm not gonna be the director anymore. I'm not gonna be. I don't know what you're gonna do, but I have to stop. I have to stop, and I need to do this fight by myself, and only this, because I cannot do and I cannot, and I didn't even have a prognosed time. Like, if you can say in 1 year's time I'm back, or in half a year's time I'm back, then you have, you know, as a business, what you can do just to work around it and to make sure that it continues. But there wasn't any possibility that I could continue. So the board decided just to put everything down, and that was really tough on me. I talked to a lot of important people in my network, because just to talk to them as in my voice, because my voice was terrible. But I needed to explain that this was really a tough decision for me to do, because I was thinking about all these families, how they're going to manage. So I wrote a letter to the families, and I went there in the wheelchair already, because I was already in the wheelchair. And I went to the company, and I said goodbye. So I read the letter, and there was like 60 families around me, and we were only crying. It was only crying. I tried to explain, and they, of course, understand why I had to do this, but they were really in shock too. And I only was hoping and praying that they would manage without me and my team. So this was also a learning school, that sometimes you just need to stop. And this is sometimes in life that when you encounter things, you can cling or hang into, but sometimes you just need to let it go and take care of yourself. This is really important. This is what I really learned in that time. So in June, I was already in the wheelchair, I just told you, and my functions were going down. So I had spasms. I couldn't even send an app on the phone anymore. My talking was terrible, but I got damages in my speech department, my memory department. Well, there was like 14 damages in my body, in my brain, that prevented me to continue. So yeah, that was a struggle, and I just couldn't believe it. And I went through a really, really dark time, because I was that light to shine. This was me. And only, I encountered a lot of things, that you cannot walk, you cannot do this, or you cannot do that. But to lose your voice is something that is, I don't know. I don't know what happens when you lose your eyes. I think it's really impactful as well. But to lose your voice, and you are the voice, then you're like, I don't know who I am anymore. I was just like, I was looking at myself, and I was like, this is not me. I mean, I'm in this body, but it's not me. So I was struggling to get out. So I prayed and I prayed. I even called my priest, and he came by, and I told him, I want to do confession. He said, what? Because it's not from this time anymore in our country that people do confessions. I said, I want to do confession. He said, but you need to have certain things to be able to do confession. I said, I have all of them. I just want to do the confession. I just want to redeem. I want to get it out of my system. And from that time, I heard this voice to press through, that I'm not alone. And in a few months' time, this was end 2019, slowly I got my voice a little bit back. I got the newest, latest medicine. So that means that I'm in the hospital a lot, getting these infusions. It's like kind of a chemotherapy, but different. You don't lose your hair. But it's of course very dangerous to go through. And in 2020, I think halfway there, I was like, okay, I need to do something. I need to make a statement. So I made a video. And I told my network what happened. My voice was already a little bit better. It went back and forward, but I needed to do this and show people that I was still there. And I asked help on LinkedIn. I asked help. I asked them to help me get back on my feet, and to help me believe in myself again, and to be able to pursue. I couldn't do this by myself. So I asked all these people help, and I started to talking with emojis under people's content in emojis, because this all was damaged. So I had to go all through all this training, memory training, this training, that training. So everything I had got my hands on, I did. Other food, other supplements, other sleep coach. I don't know, doesn't matter. And it worked. In the end of 2021, I was able to get rid of my wheelchair. And then this mission really started, and this is my new mission, that is just give to inspire others, because this is me. I want to be the light. I have all this knowledge. I just want to tell people what to do, but let them do them themselves, not like the old Audrey, take people by the hand and do everything for them. No, just tell them what to do and be that light. Just make that positive impact on humanity and share my knowledge. So this is the start of my new mission on LinkedIn, and this was start of my Do Good mission, to share and do good for others and show people that this is a good world. There's a lot of good, and we need to get more balance. We need to get more love in there, more empathy, more compassion. I mean, this world is upside down. And I always felt really responsible for everything going around in my community, in my country, but even in the world. So in 2021, I also decided just to go international, because this was good training for me, cognitive training, and it was good training for me with my English. So it was a win-win. And I can be creative. I can, work on my pictures, work on my content, write, think what I'm thinking today, and get up and think, okay, I'm going to write today about love. I'm going to write today about humanity. I'm going to write today about life purpose. It doesn't matter. It just flows out of my pen, and I'm just laying it out there, and I'm letting it go. And I met so many nice people around in the time being. So my LinkedIn grew a lot. And I'm really proud of all the help people gave me, because I said, I want to keep my network alive. I worked so hard to have this big network, and I don't want to lose that. And well, it worked.
Amazing. We're talking with Audrey van der Lee. She's gone through an incredible hurdles of adversity. She's the real deal. We're here on the Real Mission on Possible show. And to follow her on LinkedIn is Audrey van der Lee, hashtag Do Good Mission. I follow her. I look forward to her posts daily. She's inspiring. She gives great advice, sometimes tips for the soul, sometimes tips for nutrition, always tips from the stars, and always things to make you feel good and shine. Audrey, you are a light. I have been so lucky and fortunate to have been able to have you on the show. And I look forward to discussing more with you as you restart your new journey, because I know it's going to be phenomenal. Gosh, what a student of life you are. Any last bits of advice? You've got people who are listening to this. They're going through their own struggles. They're seeing dark clouds. They don't know if they're able to face tomorrow. Things are really, really tough on them, maybe economically, maybe job loss, maybe illness. What could you give them as a parting injection of possibilities?
Well, first of all, I want to say to them that don't fear the future, because then you're wasting today. Every day is a new blessing. Count your blessing. Get that gratitude level up, because just look around and mention daily what is good in your life. Because when you do that, you turn things around. And don't count those days, but make those days count. And you can develop these skills, but you can also develop these small habits. Don't go for the big thing. Just start with the small steps. But the first steps is so important. Just the first step is action. You need to move. All those people out there, keep moving, because training moving, just go outside, have a little walk, get the sunshine in your face is so important. And not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. So all of us can make this impact on other people. this is just what I wanted to say, Coach.
Well, I couldn't have think about anybody else who could have said it better. Terrific. Audrey Vanderlee, follow her. I salute you. Thank you so much for being here on the Real Mission I'm Possible show. We look forward to hearing more about your incredible journey going forward. Hashtag do good mission. Thank you, Audrey Vanderlee.
Thank you so much, Coach.